Hello everybody, it's me Shay again, here to show you some more work in progress for Meager Quest. In this scene, Meager has just buried the sword. He got scared of it because it talked to him and he wasn't quite expecting that. And so he was startled, buried it, and now he is sort of tiptoeing away from it suspiciously before giving up on that idea and just bolting. So I'm working on getting some rough drawings done for the keyframes in this scene. I generally like to start out my drawings with sort of a stick figure, and then I go through and fill out the mass of the character's body. I like to use more of a stick figure first because it helps me to kind of visually see the positioning, make sure that it's right before I go all in and actually start drawing the character for real. And I just find that helps me. There's a lot less to redraw when I do it that way. So as you can see, I had drawn one frame where he's taking a step, and now I'm sort of cheating the system by taking that same drawing and copying it over on a different frame and just sort of fudging it to make it look like it's his other foot that's forward. So what you're seeing here with the kind of the red second layer along with the blue that I'm currently drawing on is called onion skinning. And onion skinning is the tool in digital animation applications like Toon Boom, which is what I'm using, and like Flash, where it kind of simulates the old process of animation where you'd put a new frame or new sheet of animation paper on top of the previous one that you're drawing, and since you're using a light table or like a light box type of a thing, you can see through your current sheet onto the previous sheet. So onion skinning is a very useful tool to make sure that you're drawing things in a way that lines up correctly between the frames that you're drawing. So I had drawn the two keyframes, which were the extremes of his walk, meaning that his left leg was forward first and then his right leg. And now I'm working on the breakdown, which is the frame that goes directly in between, where his leg is kind of up but still bent, kind of the midpoint between the two extremities. And now moving on, just adding more and more frames to this. And of course, every so often I'm flipping through the frames to see how they're playing together, see if the sequence is making sense, see if the way that the motion is going is making sense. And as I'm flipping through these frames, it kind of makes it look like Meager is doing a little bit of a dance. I'm going to speed the playback up a little bit more as I just continue to make more drawings and make little fine adjustments to the drawings that I'm doing. Now, of course, you can't see this in the screen capture footage, but as I was doing all of this, I was in my office or my studio, whatever, just a room in my house where I work. I was acting out the motion, so I was doing this sort of tiptoey walk across the room. And of course, it makes you feel a little bit silly, but it's really important to do because it gives you a sense of how the character needs to move and what kind of pacing you're looking at and things like that. So yeah, makes you feel really dumb, but you gotta do it. And once again, just making a few little adjustments to the drawings. There were a few things that I just wasn't feeling like they were quite right. So I just went through and was kind of rotating some things and getting them the way that I wanted them. And now after he is done tiptoeing away, he then pauses for a sec and then bolts. So that's what you're seeing in the frame that I'm working on now, is him in full-on flight mode. And once again, making some more adjustments to the drawings I've already done. This is really the reason you want to do these rough keyframes first. It's a good opportunity to make sure that everything's working the way that you want before you go in and add the finishing touches because if you do that first, then if you want to change it, then it's basically you're throwing a lot of work away. So you want to avoid that by just kind of being really loose and sketchy first and not worrying too much about how perfect it looks, and you can get to that later once everything is working well. Anyway, so I really hope you've enjoyed following along with me in this time lapse. This is the end result. It's obviously really rough still, but that's fine. That was the idea. But I'm already starting to get more of a sense of what the pacing is like, and that makes me ready to go in and refine it a little bit. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out our Patreon, and while you're there, please consider contributing to our project. See you next time.